Doxa has always been one of those brands that is impossible to separate from dive watch history. The original Sub 300 arrived in 1967 with its bright orange dial, professional decompression bezel, and a design created around legibility underwater. But the Sub 200 has always been about the more approachable side of the collection. It keeps the vintage Doxa personality, but it gives you a cleaner case, a simpler dive bezel, and a price that makes it easier to wear every day. This is the new DOXA SUB 200 2 Caribbean, and for the first time in the permanent collection, Doxa has added a smoked fumé dial wire texture underneath. The case is also slimmer, the water resistance is 200 meters, and you can get it on either the stainless steel mesh bracelet or the new Dive Flex rubber strap. So let's find out if this Sub 200 2 is now the best entry point into the Doxa collection. Welcome everyone, it's Chris with the Little Treasury channel, where we bring you original and in-depth watch content at least once per week. And if you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be alerted as soon as we upload. I'm from Little Treasury Jewelers, which is located in Gambrills, Maryland, and it's where you go when you're in the know. And if you can't make it to our store, check out our cutting-edge, user-friendly website, littletreasury.com, which is linked to our inventory in real time. All watches that I review are for sale and can be purchased, so please see our website or see the description below to contact us. If you're just joining us now, I'll go over the watch's detailed measurements and features, then I'll offer my personal opinion at the end. In our last video, I reviewed the Bremont Supernova chronograph, which took Bremont in a completely different space-inspired direction. It had that angular 904L case, an integrated bracelet, a geometric dial inspired by spacecraft solar panels, and a full luminous layer underneath the dial structure. If you want to see one of the boldest and most modern watches Bremont has ever created, that one's absolutely worth a look. Wrist check time. Today I'm wearing my Bremont Descent Limited Edition, which is number 407 out of 407. It's the last one ever made. And I'm really lucky to have this one, and it is one of my very first luxury watches, which I'll keep forever. Now tell me which watch you're wearing while you're watching the video, and make sure to tell me why. Now let's get on to the features. My measurements for the Doxa Sub 200 2 Caribbean are a 44mm case width, a 13.1mm thickness, a 47.9mm lug-to-lug, a 20mm lug width, a 33.2mm crystal diameter, and weighing in at 151.97 grams. The case is made out of 316L stainless steel and has that rounded vintage dive watch profile that the Sub 200 is known for. The top surfaces are brushed, while polished sections around the case give it a little more shine and keep it from feeling like a completely matte tool watch. The crown is screwed down and is at the 3 position with the Doxa fish logo on the tip. The crystal is a scratch-resistant domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective treatment. Doxa describes it as a glass box construction, which gives the watch that vintage rounded appearance without using acrylic. The bezel is unidirectional with a blue aluminum insert and a white diving scale. Doxa chose aluminum instead of ceramic, which matches the more traditional character of the Sub 200 and allows the blue to have a softer appearance. Now let's go ahead and see how this bezel performs. The bezel has a good grip around the edge, the clicks feel good, and the action has that direct mechanical feel that we want from a dive watch. I also like that Doxa kept the bezel simple here. You don't get the complicated decompression scale found on some of the professional sub models, so this one is very easy to read and use. The dial has a blue smoked fumé pattern that becomes darker as it moves toward the outside. Underneath the gradient is a subtle moiré finish that gives the surface additional texture and allows the pattern to change as light moves across it. This is the first time Doxa has used a fumé dial in the permanent Sub 200 collection. Around the outside is a vintage yellow minute track with rectangular markers at each minute. Doxa in a vintage yellow tone can be found at the top middle portion of the dial, with automatic beneath. The hour and minute hands are baton style with vintage yellow lume in the center. The seconds hand has a contrasting luminous tip, making it easy to see that the movement is running. The date window can be found at the 3 position with a white background and black numerals. It also has a yellow frame. Sub 202 can be found at the bottom middle portion of the dial. Bloom is vividly applied on the hour, minute, and second hands, on all the dial markers, and on every marker on the bezel. The caseback is stainless steel and it's screwed down with a sailboat engraving in the center. The movement is a Swiss mechanical automatic caliber decorated by DOXA. It is self-winding, beats at 28,800 beats per hour, has approximately 38 hours of power reserve, and it displays the hour, minute, seconds, and date. The bracelet is a stainless steel mesh design with a stainless steel folding clasp. The mesh gives the Sub 202 a different appearance from the traditional beads of rice bracelet found on many other DOXA divers, and it matches the cleaner and more urban direction of this model. The lug width is 20 millimeters, so you should have also plenty of aftermarket strap options. The DOXA Sub 202 Caribbean is water resistant to 200 meters, is part of the permanent collection, and currently lists for $1,750 on the stainless steel mesh bracelet, or $1,690 on the rubber strap. Now for my personal opinion, I'm going to start off by saying I think that this is the most attractive Sub 200 that DOXA has made so far. The original version already had a lot of charm, but this fumé dial gives the watch that extra depth and personality that it needed. The Caribbean blue is also perfect for this design. In brighter light, the center of the dial has a rich blue appearance, and the color gets darker as it moves towards the edges. The moiré texture underneath stops it from looking like a basic gradient dial. Every time you move the watch, you should get a slightly different pattern and reflection. I also like that DOXA made the case slimmer. A 44mm measurement sounds large, but the 48mm lug-to-lug keeps the overall footprint under control. On my 6.5-inch wrist, I expect it to have a strong presence without the lugs hanging over the sides. It's also relatively thin at 13.1 millimeters. The mesh bracelet gives it more of a vintage skin diver look, while the blue rubber strap makes the whole watch feel sportier and more casual. I would probably choose the mesh bracelet first because it gives you the complete package, and then add the rubber strap later for summer. The movement is not the part of this watch that is going to blow anybody away. 38 hours of power reserve is fairly traditional, especially when a lot of newer watches are giving us 3 days, but it is a Swiss automatic movement running at 4 Hz, and at this price, I think the dial, case design, sapphire crystal, and overall DOXA identity are the main reasons to buy it. I recommend this for someone who wants a real Swiss dive watch brand with legitimate history, but does not necessarily want the brighter orange dial or the more technical decompression bezel. The Caribbean blue is easy to wear, the fumé finish makes it feel special, and the slimmer case should make it much better for everyday wear. Thanks for watching today, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with all of your friends and your family members too. I look forward to seeing you next video.